The Marvel Cinematic Universe is dying. Now, if I were to say that, it'd be like the equivalent to saying that the sky is green or saying that water is wet or that the sky is blue or that fire is hot, which all are extremely obvious. But seriously though, just seeing this once great franchise die in such inevitable and spectacular fashion is just really sad to watch, because it really seems like there was a point in time where the MCU could do no wrong at all. Now, with that being said, they weren't always perfect, because even when the franchise was at its peak, they did had a few misses here and there, whether if it's The Incredible Hulk, which is a movie that I personally enjoy, but I can understand why most people don't care for it. Thor: The Dark World, which most people consider that to be the absolute worst movie of the entire franchise, as it is egregiously boring. And even Captain Marvel, and to be honest, I don't feel like I have to say much about this one, so yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But even throughout all the misses, the MCU just always did a good job of being consistent. It's just too bad that I can't really say the same thing nowadays, because ever since Phase 4 came to fruition, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has experienced such a humongous decline in its quality, whether if it comes to the directionless storytelling, the lack of creativity, the over-reliance of the janky CGI effects, the uninspired writing, unremarkable cinematography, and overall tediousness to a formulaic approach have all contributed to a feeling of blandness. Ever since the culmination of the Infinity Saga and since the fruition of Phase 4, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has experienced such a humongous downgrade, especially when it comes to the quality in their content. From Eternals to Thor: Love and Thunder, as most of you should know, that is by far my least favorite movie of this entire franchise, as I felt like it was nothing more than a shoddy Saturday Night Live rom-com, to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which was just such a shitty CGI clusterfuck. And please, 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 for the love of God, don't even get me started when it comes to discussing their shows like She-Hulk and Secret Invasion. Both shows were beautiful examples of what happens to this once great franchise collapsing within itself like a dying star and choosing the path of quantity over quality, marking such huge embarrassments to the legacy of the MCU. And last, when it comes to discussing the MCU's latest project, The Marvels, my god, that was such a massive blow. The movie did such dreadful numbers at the box office to the point where it's now officially the franchise's lowest grossing movie. And honestly, I feel like that movie was doomed from the start. Back in 2019, legendary director Martin Scorsese gave his brutally honest take on the Marvel Cinematic Universe as he made a statement by saying, and I quote, "I don't see them. I tried, but that's not cinema. Honestly, the closest I can think of them, as well made as they are, with actors doing the best they can under the circumstances, is theme parks." A lot of people did not take too kindly to this because of the fact that he had all the Marvel fanboys losing their shit. He had people punching the air like Trey from Boys in the Hood. Like, a lot of people just really wanted to run the fade on him for saying this. But for me personally, I agreed with him because he's right. I mean, for God's sakes, it's Martin Scorsese, for God's sakes. This man, he understands cinema. As a matter of fact, he's one of the biggest icons in cinema history. Looking at Scorsese's entire catalog of films, 80% of them have either garnered universal acclaim or have been well regarded as enduring classics, whether if it's Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Raging Bull, The Departed, Casino, The Wolf of Wall Street, and the list goes on and on. Like, come on, like, y'all are not gonna disrespect Martin Scorsese. However, with that being said, has it all been bad for the MCU ever since the fruition of Phase 4? Of course not. Much to my surprise, I loved Spider-Man No Way Home more than I thought I would. And while sure it does rely a bit too much on nostalgia baiting, the movie overall to me is the textbook example of how you do fan service done in all the right ways possible. And I absolutely adored Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Not only did the movie manage to exceed all my expectations, not only did it manage to be a phenomenal film with having such an engaging, centric story, along with emotional beats that managed to tug at my heartstrings, it was overall such a remarkable send-off and satisfying swan song for not just the entire Guardians trilogy, but most importantly to all the members that we loved since the first film, especially Rocket, who was unquestionably the best part of the entire film. As for the rest, I can't really say the same. To say that the craze for Barbenheimer was humongous would be a massive understatement, as both movies became the textbook examples of under-promising and over-delivering, as both were not only just well-received by critics, but also doing phenomenal numbers at the box office. Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer grossed over $954 million worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing biographical film and the second highest-grossing R-rated film of all time. And as for Greta Gerwig's Barbie, it did even bigger numbers as it joined the billion-dollar club by making over $1.44 billion at the box office worldwide, making it the 14th highest grossing movie of all time. Barbenheimer was such a huge pop culture phenomenon because it was such a fun break from the bleak landscape of modern cinema. But not only that, both films were expertly crafted immensely well acted, and thoroughly well thought out, which is something that I can't really say about the modern state of the MCU right now. At this point, movie audiences are stating in no uncertain terms that sequels, reboots, and connected universes are not going to save modern cinema. They want something that feels wholly original. They want risky projects. They want something based on compelling ideas that challenge filmmakers and audiences. They want something that feels ambitious and just, something that is just like worth, pushing boundaries or, moving the needle. Prioritizing a strong story over a big budget and scattering out release dates is the smartest move Marvel could make. Less is more because it allows creators to breathe, to give them some time to craft something with heart, passion, grit, and artistry. It also leaves fans craving for more for the next installment instead of constantly rolling their eyes at Disney Plus's oversaturation marketing bombardment. Now look, I'm not saying that the MCU can't be great again. They actually can be. But in order for them to achieve that, they need to go back to the drawing board and remember the three key qualities of what made them successful in the first place: simplicity, time, and passion. Overall, with all the evidence that I've shown you guys, with every specific detail, and as somebody who used to value the MCU, this is just downright heartbreaking to see. What once used to rule the film landscape and capture the hearts of millions around the world has now become such a shameful, embarrassing shadow of its former self. And if I'm being dead honest, I feel like the MCU would have been better off ending after Avengers Endgame. So the bottom line is, every single one of you diehard Marvel fans, what you should do right now, click off this video, go straight to Martin Scorsese and say, I'm sorry. He told every single one of y'all all along, but y'all never listened. So what you should do right now, go apologize to Uncle Marty. Do it. I'm serious.
Do it! Just do it!